policemen on one side, two on the other, just flanking the doorway. And as soon as I saw them, I said, "Don't tell me trans activists sent you."
This is Irish comedian Graham Linehan, and he's speaking out about his arrest by armed police at Heathrow Airport over tweets mocking trans, is what happened. So he moved to the United States and to Arizona, and I guess he had to go back to the UK, and as soon as he stepped off the plane, they were waiting for him. And maybe we'll quickly just take a quick look, because I've got that in here, at the tweets that he was getting in trouble for. Let's see. So here is like this. If a trans-identified male is in a female-only space, he is committing a violent, abusive act. Make a scene, call the cops, and if all else fails, punch him in the balls. So clearly a joke, right? Clearly a joke, the whole thing. Like, man in a woman's bathroom, right? It's a man, so it's clearly not a woman. So women don't have balls, so you wouldn't be able to punch them in them. It's clearly a joke. And this is enough to get him arrested and facing prison time in the UK. So, and actually, before we get to that, let's just show you some of the audio from him being arrested. And he was not happy. I mean, you can't imagine your shock, right? You can't imagine his shock. He's stepping off a plane, and there's like 5 armed cops there, just waiting for him. This comedian, the guy who wrote Father Ted. Let's take a listen.
It is alleged that on the 19th of April 2025, you published a post on X that was deemed to be intended to stir up hatred and incite violence on the grounds of sexual orientation. What was the post? I'll tell you.
So they saying they can't even tell him what he did, right? So you just throw in an element of, a Kafka-esque element into this as well.
You sure? Comedy writer, wrote Father Ted. You're under arrest. I'm under arrest. Do you know what this country looks like to America? Do you know what it looks like to America?
So you're saying, do you know what this country looks like to America, where he's been living with a First Amendment and a Second Amendment as well? But he's saying, do you know what this country looks like to America? The leftists don't care, right? They hate America. They hate free speech. They hate freedom, right? So they don't care. They don't want to be like the United States. Let's hear him talk about the arrest here on GB News.
When I stepped off the plane, there were 3 policemen on one side, 2 on the other, just flanking the doorway. And as soon as I saw them, I said, "Don't tell me trans activists sent you," And they just, I have to say, the policemen who picked me up were really decent, They brought me to a quiet area where I wouldn't be embarrassed, and they told me I was under arrest. But because I was just so disgusted that I went nuts. I was absolutely infuriated. I said, "Do you know how you look to America? Do you know what America thinks of Britain at the moment?" And, it's nothing to do with them. They don't care. They're not making the rules. So finally, I was so incandescent with anger. They did talk about putting cuffs on me. So I said, "Please just let me calm down. You're not bringing me through an airport in cuffs for defending women's rights." And they went off and they discussed it, and they agreed to bring a van around the back. And I went down and I thought, "Oh, okay, that's not so bad. That's not so bad." But then they opened the back of it, and I had to sit in a little tiny cell in the back, like that's like, that.
It's so Orwellian. I mean, it's not fully Airstrip 1 yet, because here he is. He's on GB News talking about it, but it's terrifying. Chef Rico asks, if you're trans on Mars, does that mean you're an Earthling? No, if you're trans on Mars, it means you think you're from Venus. And if you're non-binary, it means you're from your anus. But what is this? This is a warning to everybody else, right? So high profile, much beloved. He's an old school liberal. He's just like a classical liberal. Every one of his, I think almost every one of his friends is the people that he had worked with, people whose careers he had made, completely abandoned him or just outright denounced him. And I say this all the time. If you're on the left, you don't have friends, right? You have future struggle sessioners, future denouncers. They're just waiting for you to trip up. They're just waiting for you to say the wrong thing, and they will join in the frenzy. They will join in the moral panic immediately and try to destroy you and feel good about it. So, you can't win the woke game. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.